In the topic of changing precipitation patterns, the Earth's atmosphere is able to hold a lot of humidity as the global temperatures increase. According to scientific estimate, the air can carry roughly around 7% of extra water vapor for each degree that temperature rises. The chance of heavy rainstorm events is increased by the additional water. The International Panel on Climate Change reports that since the 1950s, many countries have seen an increase in both the amount and frequency of precipitation. The Environmental Protection Agency estimates that since the early 1900s, there has been a 38% rise in the amount of heavy rainfall in the United States. One of the many dangers associated with climate change involves changing precipitation patterns. The changes in quality, duration, timing, and the level of waterfall and snowfall in various parts of the world are referred to this hazard. Precipitation follows pretty predictable seasonal cycles, but the Earth's water cycle is being disrupted by global temperatures. Because the atmosphere can contain more moisture when it warms, certain regions have bigger rainstorms while others experience longer, more severe droughts. NASA states that the higher temperatures cause more water vapor to evaporate and be stored in the atmosphere, which intensifies storms and cause more significant precipitation occurrences. Many groups are impacted by shifting precipitation patterns, but some are more severely impacted than others because towns rely on steady water supplies for businesses, farming, and drinking water. Humans are greatly harmed. Unpredictable rainfall can cause water shortages and severe flooding that runs infrastructure, houses, and roadways. Since crop shortages depend on steady rainfall through particular growth seasons, farmers are also greatly impacted too, but too much rain may overflow fields and harm plants. Too little rain can lead to drought and crop failure. Because animals need stable habitats and dependable water sources, wildlife is also impacted. Additionally, because they do not have buildings or resources necessary to adapt to droughts and floods, low-income populations and developing nations are frequently most vulnerable. There are already a number of operations being explored to deal with this risk through climate change accordance and regulations pertaining to renewable energy. Organizations and governments are attempting to lower greenhouse emissions. Communities are able to prepare for more severe thunderstorms by investing in improved drainage infrastructure, upgraded flood control systems, and improved early warning system. NASA and NOAA scientists use satellites to track precipitation patterns around the world while improving weather forecasts in order to help drain extra waterfall and lessen floods. Communities are also planting trees, restoring wetlands, and developing green buildings. In the topic of shifting in species distribution, the transfer of animals and plants and fish into new regions as a result of climate change is referred to as shifts in species distribution. In order to survive, species need to migrate into cooler areas, often farther north towards the south or higher altitudes as global temperatures rise. NASA estimates that roughly since the 19th century, the average surface temperature of the Earth has risen by roughly 1.1 C or 2 degrees Fahrenheit. As a result of increased greenhouse emissions, small temperatures rising have the power to affect reproductive cycles, foodability, habitats, and forcing animals outside their natural ranges. All of the most affected are wildlife animals with restricted travel since the 1960s. About 61% of the North American species of birds under study have moved their winter ranges towards the north, and many have traveled more than 2,000 miles. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, as oceans temperatures rise, NOAA has discovered that lots of marine life are moving towards the north in about an amount of roughly 44 miles each decade. Because moving species can upset local economies and food systems, these damages have impacted human populations, particularly those who depend on farming, fishing, and tourism. The risk has many effects on human system, habitats, and wildlife. While they are unable to migrate or adjust quickly enough, wildlife diversity decreases when food chain cycles or predators and prey connections are disrupted. ecosystems become weakened. Measurable ecological changes have been confirmed by the U.S. Geological Survey, which has reported many different species are migrating to higher areas and elevation. For humans, changing species can change the location of fishing grounds, decrease crop fertilization, and have an increased range on insects that spread illness. Scientists predict environmental conflict and a rise in small extinctions and faster species mobility if current trends continue through 2050. There could be significant damage to mountain ecosystems, fisheries, and coral reef. Human-caused climate change, particularly the release of greenhouse gases and burning fossil fuels and deforestation, along with habitat loss that prevents animals from moving safely, are the main cause of this hazard. Because preserving biodiversity helps protect our food economy and stability in the future, I advise people to support preservation and efforts in climate change law.